a price point model, it might be a Series 40 phone, but I think the C103 is a little bit, I would say it's an old model which has been launched sometime earlier.
And the price that the gentleman was talking about seemed, I thought it was rather expensive for that particular model of phone.
I think so. It's we'll come back to that. I think I'll have to look at, you know, obviously I can't give you an answer up front, but I'll have to look at it in terms of, you know, what the phone is and how the phone is. But it was introduced in, you know, emerging markets, the BRIC, essentially the countries Brazil, India, Russia, China. And it used to be a good phone at the point in time that was introduced. Usual things like Nokia always tries to introduce a phone which is lower on price point but also gives you certain features. So it was a smartphone with touchscreen and a couple of other features, but at a price point. That means it could have been, you know, if you're buying a contract, that it could come to you free rather than having to pay for anything for the phone. Right, going back to the email implementation. So I was looking at obviously the Gmail. We've just uploaded one client and obviously trying to see that implementation on the Android as well.
That's fine. While you're loading that up, I think we may have another caller. Hello? You got another caller? Hello?
अस्सलामुअलैकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
भाईजान मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ, मेरे पास नोकिया E5 है।
कौन सा? Sorry?
नोकिया E5।
E5. Okay.
वो मैं उससे मैं सॉन्ग डाउनलोड कैसे कर सकता हूँ, मसलन क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं प्लीज?
जी ठीक है, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। क्या नाम आपने बताया अपना?
मेरा नाम उमैर है। और जब गूगल पे जाके वो सॉन्ग प्ले करता हूँ, वो सॉन्ग प्ले नहीं होता, ऊपर क्रॉस का निशान आ जाता है
जी।
और वो डाउनलोड का यानी कोई मेन्यू में जाके ना, मतलब ऑप्शन में जाके वो आता नहीं।
ठीक है,
आप कैसे, आप मुझे तफसील से बताना प्लीज।
ठीक है सर, आप प्रोग्राम देखते रहिए, मैं ज़रूर उसका जवाब दे दूंगा। I think I know off the top of my head anyway. Thank you very much for your call. So basically the reason why this particular gentleman, इस वजह है क्योंकि आप Google पे जाएं और आप वीडियो देखना चाहें, I think that phone doesn't support flash. That's why he's getting a cross symbol.
Yes.
आपके फ़ोन पे फ्लैश नहीं है। अगर आप नॉर्मल इंटरनेट पे जाएं और आप YouTube वीडियो देखना चाहें, वो आपके फ़ोन पे नहीं आएगा because उस पे फ्लैश नहीं है। I don't know whether there's a particular app for your phone, अगर आप उसका कोई ऐप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं अगर आप वीडियो YouTube वगैरह पे चलाना चाहते हैं, वरना वैसे इंटरनेट पे जाएं तो इंटरनेट पे आपको YouTube वीडियोस या कोई भी वीडियो आपको नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि आपका फ़ोन कंपैटिबल नहीं है। और अगर आप किसी सॉन्ग डाउनलोड करना चाहते हैं, probably maybe there is a site where it downloads it as an MP3, वो शायद आपके फ़ोन के साथ चल जाए, मगर वैसे आप डाउनलोड करना चाहें तो मुझे लगता है जो आपका मॉडल है फ़ोन का वो उसे करने नहीं देगा। We've got another caller, one after one, so we'll take another one. Hello? Hello.
और यार मैं पूछना सीगा यार, मैं जाना हैगा ना पाकिस्तान जाना वा
जी।
हाँ, उत्थे अपना ਉਹ ਕੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਟੋਮ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ
जी।
ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ काम करूगा?
नहीं।
ਉਹ ਕਾਦੀ वजह फिर?
क्योंकि जब आप ख़रीदते हैं उस पर सिर्फ जो मैप होगा ना, अगर आप यहाँ से ख़रीदेंगे तो उसमें सिर्फ इंग्लैंड का या यूरोप का मैप उसके अंदर पहले का उन्होंने डाला होता है उस सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर, और आप पाकिस्तान लेके जाएंगे वो जब सिग्नल पकड़ेगा तो उसे पता चल जाएगा कि उस इलाके में नहीं है। वहाँ अगर किसी ने, मैं ये नहीं जानता कि पाकिस्तान में उन्होंने ऐसा कोई शुरू किया हुआ है कि नहीं, मगर आप यहाँ से लेके जाएंगे उसमें सिर्फ UK का मैप होगा और वहाँ पे वो बिल्कुल काम नहीं करेगा।
अच्छा, यूरोप ना चल जाता फिर? नहीं,
यूरोप वो ये नहीं पता, शायद वो ऐसे बेचें जिसमें मैप हो, मगर मेरे हिसाब से नहीं।
मेरे हिसाब से ये कि नहीं, जो दो आपकी तीन
पाकिस्तान नहीं कोई हैगा टॉम चलने
नहीं चलेगा। आपको ये चीज़ ध्यान रखनी है कि जब आप टॉम यहाँ से खरीद के ले जा रहे हैं उधर, टॉम के कंट्री वाइज मैप्स जो हैं अवेलेबल हैं उनकी वेबसाइट से। टॉम है, गार्मिन है, काफ़ी ऐसी और कंपनीज हैं जिनके आप रीजन वाइज मैप खरीद सकते हैं। अगर मैं इसको यहाँ से लेके पाकिस्तान जा रहा हूँ तो उसके अंदर एक SD कार्ड स्लॉट होता है टॉम्स के अंदर, या मैं उसको USB पोर्ट में लगा के डाउनलोड कर सकता हूँ। उसकी आपको एडिशनल मैप लेने पड़ेंगे, तो वो आप टॉम की वेबसाइट से खरीद सकते हैं।
I think they've gone anyway, but So there is maps available for India and
maps
Pakistan?
available.
Oh, okay.
So basically, these are GPS devices. They connect through the satellite.
Yeah.
So अगर आप यहाँ से खरीद के किसी और कंट्री में ले जाएं, वो by default location और region यहाँ का होगा. अगर आप उस कंट्री में चले जाएं तो वहाँ का मैप आपको डाउनलोड करना पड़ेगा. अगर आप डाउनलोड करेंगे तो फिर वो आपको वहाँ का ऑप्शन देगा. And you can set that as default, as a country default.
Yeah.
You know.
No problem. We've got another caller. Hello.
Hello, Ji. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, the gentleman was just asking, I think he's going to Hassan Abdal. I don't know which airport he's going to land.
Okay.
But if he buy any iPhone or anything like that, or Galaxy 2, he will see all the map of Pakistan, wherever he's going to, because he won't give him a guidance by voice, but you can see all the map on any of those two phones.
Yeah, normally, I mean, obviously, if you have access to the internet and obviously you're outside and your GPS is on, with the built-in maps that are on, you know, like you've got like BlackBerry Maps or Google Maps, things like that, they will work. You can see what's going on. But like I said, it does depend on having internet connectivity. If you were to buy a TomTom freestanding, you wouldn't need to have internet connectivity. That's the difference.
Sorry to interrupt you there, because I think he's going to Hassan Abdal, and I don't know which airport he's going to land.
Okay.
But if he's going to land in India, then he's coming through Lahore to going to Hassan Abdal. You can still use that phone to get there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as long as his phone is connected to the internet and he is in a place where he can receive a GPS signal, he can certainly find the map of the local area he is in. Not a problem at all, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the thing. When you do it on your phone, because it can instantly download the map as and when it needs, you need to have the internet on for it to use.
Connectivity is a must. Obviously, that is... The gentleman was referring to Google Maps, which is a part of the iPhone. All right, going back to quickly the application implementation of the Mail on Android tablet. This is quite good as well. So obviously, as you can see, you can straight away get onto your mails and you can, obviously interact with them.
It does look similar in that sense. Can you pinch and zoom like you were doing with the other one?
Yes, you can. You can on the Galaxy tab as well. And for me to do that, I think this is where the next point is that it does falter. So as you can see, I don't see an implementation of that being done on the Galaxy tab.
There you go, yeah.
So these are small differences that you get to see, but that's the second difference that we want to show. The third thing we want to show is something which I liked on the Galaxy tab, staying with it, is that when you launch a lot of applications, you have an arrow button here and you can bring up the task manager, which shows you clearly what types of apps are running on the tablet. And there's a similar implementation of that happening on the iPad. When I double tap the home button, you can see all the apps running at the bottom. And this allows you to close any particular application that is not required. That takes us to the third thing that we want to show is basically implementation of ये device जो है आपका, you use this for reading quite a lot because it is lightweight and obviously the implementation in terms of screen, अगर size देखें इसका, आप इसकी resolution देखें तो it is quite good for the eyes to do reading. So अगर आप ये इसका देखें तो इसमें lot of e-books, electronic books are now available that you can read. And there is an application called the iBooks on the iPad which allows you to read such books and magazines, and you can subscribe to them. Some of these are paid subscriptions. So this is a nice layout in which they have designed, and obviously a lot of applications are available for you to look at on the iPad. Last but not the least, we're going to try and compare the battery backup. We've run these two devices in our studio and during test and review, and we found the battery backup to be more or less similar. But I think when you watch video, अगर आप video देख रहे हैं, YouTube काफ़ी use कर रहे हैं, या आप इसमें song सुन रहे हैं, तो battery backup slightly चला जाता है नीचे, it goes down, but they on an average give you between 7 to 8 hours of battery backup easily. Because ये both devices के अंदर Wi-Fi integrated है, that means इनके अंदर SIM card लगा हुआ है, and आप इसको बाहर लेके जाएं Wi-Fi environment में, so you can use them, in using the carrier signal as well. Last cheese जो है, which is the implementation of the camera, on which
we quickly go to the camera. You can set it up in the meantime. We'll take another caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How can I help?
Hi. I just want to ask you about that. I'm going to buy a new Samsung Galaxy Note.
Okay.
What do you think about that phone? How's the phone?
Yeah, no problem. Well, luckily for you, another person quite close to me is also thinking of buying a Samsung Galaxy Note. And I'm sure you have done a lot of research into this already.
I have, and I think, thanks for your call. just to briefly answer that question, it's a very good phone. If you remember, we covered this in our show previously that it was the phone of the year by T3 magazine, so it obviously won the award. It's a very nice phone in terms of the screen size. It's slightly bigger than the iPhone and some of the other smartphones in the market, but it's very nice. It's based on the Android. It has a very good resolution camera, and it is razor thin. It is very, very thin. So it's a very good phone all in all. I think the only thing which I would put it this way that if you're buying a particular type of smartphone today, all of these are trying to build you or buy you into an ecosystem. अगर आपने ये फ़ोन खरीद लिया तो आप Android के साथ हैं, फिर कुछ नया डिवाइस लेंगे तो Android के साथ सिंकिंग हो सकती है. So that point of view you have to keep in mind. अगर आपने कुछ और भी डिवाइस लेना है, so make sure that you're kind of looking at Android because it helps you transfer contacts, transfer your messages, emails, photos quite easily because it's on the same ecosystem. But all in all, it's a very good phone.
I know. I'm using Android devices, but the thing I want to ask is, what do you think about battery timing? Because it's a big screen, so it's going to consume more battery than other smartphones.
Well, in terms of battery timing, it is quite subjective because of the fact that आपकी usage क्या है? What is the usage? If you're using it for video, YouTube, if you're using the brightness of how you keep the brightness of the screen, what time does it go on standby? Say, for example, these are settings that you can do. Battery backup wise, I think they say it on the box, and obviously we've reviewed that phone in the studio. It gives you between 3 to 5 hours of talk time very easily, and obviously a standby time of in excess of about 2 or 3 days. So if you don't have alarms running and the screen brightness is not too bright, and also you don't have any location-based services always running.
A lot of applications open in the background as well.
In the background as well. That ties into how much battery is utilized, and that is the key to all these smartphones. So अगर आपका Facebook run कर रहा है, Twitter run कर रहा है, तो आपको notifications काफ़ी सारी आएंगी, and it keeps on continuously getting these notifications in the background. So you might see your phone screen is switched off, but it is still running in the background, and that is where your battery backup becomes a personal or a subjective use thing. But I think all in all, it gives you a good battery backup.
Okay, thank you very much for your help. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you very much for your call.
Right. The last thing that we were looking at comparing this was obviously the camera quality. And, the only way that I can show this is if you look at, the camera. And the camera on the iPhone, obviously it's got two cameras, one front-facing and back-facing. The front-facing camera, as you can see, the back-facing camera, as you can see right now, the resolution of that camera is quite good. It's a 2-megapixel camera. But if I look at the front-facing camera, so what I can do is here, turn this around and turn this around into a front-facing camera. So when I look at the front-facing camera, the resolution of the front-facing camera is not that good. And keeping that in mind, if I look at the front-facing camera,
are we going to have a look at our guests?
Right. If
can you see me in this? Yeah, you can see me just there a little bit.
So if you look at this, obviously the camera on the Galaxy Tab is much better, which I do feel because of a simple reason that it has a 5-megapixel camera. If I've got that right, 3-megapixel camera, which is back-facing, and 2-megapixel camera, which is front-facing. So resolution-wise, it is much better as far as the camera is concerned. And because both these devices have 3G capability, that means आप इसमें अपना SIM card डाल के इसको बाहर भी use कर सकते हैं. तो उस point of view से when you're looking at, I think it makes a lot of difference because अगर आप बाहर हैं और आप photos ले रहे हैं और आप video बना रहे हैं, तो naturally आप videos वो directly YouTube पे upload कर सकते हैं, Facebook पे upload कर सकते हैं, और उस वजह से I think the quality of the camera matters to a certain extent. I think the last thing which brings us in terms of availability, price points in K. The one that we have, obviously iPads in the market are starting at £399. They are available, and this is for a basic 16 gig version, Wi-Fi only. And the Android based Galaxy Tab is available from £369, which is again 16 gig. But दो तीन चीज़ें जो इसको differentiate करती हैं अगर आप देखें तो one, I still find if I put both of these together in terms of slimness, if I put both these tablets together in terms of slimness, I do find the Galaxy Tab and the iPad being very similar. Thoda sa screen size I would say is slightly bigger, if I look at the Galaxy Tab, and obviously because of the resolution of the cameras, a better camera, and obviously from a memory capacity point of view, iska jo version hai wo thoda sa better hai from this point. But all in all, if I look at sales, if I look at consumer choice, I think iPad kind of rules the roost. It is 58 or 59 or I think upwards of 50% in terms of market share. So you can't go wrong with both these devices. We found them to be very good in our review, both of them. And it's a difficult choice to, take a pick that, okay, this is better or that is better.
So that's the review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab and the iPad. That's all we have time for, unfortunately, this week. It's run away with us so fast. But thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure Raman has got lots lined up for us next week. So make sure you join us then. Thank you very much. Goodbye.